Sometimes I sit and think, and I land on weird ideas. Like, what if society is the most elaborate illusion we've agreed to believe in? Not a conspiracy, not a trap. Just a system so deeply rooted in us that we have mistaken it for the truth. We call it life, but is it life? Or just a really persistent roleplay? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just thinking too much again. Or maybe just not enough of us are. I've always felt a kind of resentment towards society. It just felt off, contradictory, unnatural. Like we kept calling it the way things are. But deep down I kept asking, is this it? Is this what being alive means? Just fitting into this pre-written story called life? It had to be more than that. So I sat and thought, probably too much, and came up with this. I think the current model of society.
Yo, but what you mean by society, cuh?
Yeah, fair question. Society isn't just people living together. I think society, or at least the one we live in, started as a solution, a way to handle a fundamental condition of every species, the need to survive. Let's call this our axiom, for this video at least. We can question that some other time. Let's not ruin the party just yet. So, to survive, we build systems, structures, roles, rules. Someone leads, someone follows, work is divided, hierarchies are born. And eventually, as these systems kept growing, they started spinning out these strange, intangible things, abstractions. Abstractions like morals, justice, identity, and purpose. They didn't fall out of the sky, they evolved out of the system. And they were specific to our version of society. And sure, this model did help us survive, but here's the twist. Over time, the abstractions took on a life of their own. We didn't just live inside society anymore, we lived inside the abstractions society created. Our entire fate was now being controlled by these abstractions. Every decision, be it social, personal, cultural, or whatever, was now being taken on the basis of these abstractions. And they led to things quite opposite of survival. The reason? Well, because the ideals of these abstractions changed pretty quickly, and they still are. I mean, look at the idea of freedom. I'm not really sure if we ever truly defined it. Maybe at first it just meant not being owned, then it became the right to choose, then it was about being seen, and eventually about not being told who we were. It kept expanding and stretching across property, speech, identity, body, and thought. Like we were scared of not being in control, so we kept adding more things to be free from. And now, we'll burn systems down in the name of freedom, even if it makes us more trapped. We'll isolate ourselves to protect it. Maybe we just didn't want freedom. We wanted to be the one defining it. This model of society served the axiom well, but not well enough. To which I think, but this isn't the only model, is it? There might have been infinite ways in which humans might have satiated the need for survival. Or could there have been other models built on a different axiom entirely? Maybe one that's not about survival at all? Or better yet, what if there were no axioms at all? Now, okay, I know people have imagined a bunch of alternatives tribal system, anarchism, you name it. But they all assume humans stay basically human. Same brain, same body, same weird habits, just shuffled into new roles. What I want to imagine is something that plays with the fundamental biology of humans. And for that, I may have to get back to our abstractions. Why did the abstractions come to be in the first place? What I can think of is the limitations of language. Because we're trapped behind words, tones, interpretations, and they lead to things like misunderstanding, greed, maliciousness, and everything. This limitation of language might have let these abstractions thrive in our society. But what if humans had, and as I call it, intermental connectedness? What if humans didn't use language but had direct flow of information into each other's brain without any filter? Would we still need society? Or what would the model even look like? Would we still build roles, labels, illusions? Or are those things exclusive to our society? Honestly, I don't really know. I know I didn't explain this perfectly. It's hard to put feelings into words when the problem itself is words. But I think you got the message. And yeah, it's a bit of paradox in here as well. I'm using logic, language, or whatever this was, which are society's tools, to try and think outside society, which makes it really hard, or much rather, really nonsensical. To be honest, for me, it's kind of frustrating. You know, I just can't step out of the society without using its own tools. Anyway, I plan on breaking down all of this in future videos, possibly going into every single thing in depth. I don't know if that ever comes out. But till then, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. It helps the algorithms too. So, yeah, this was Anshuman Bahuguna, and I might be wrong though.